Hello and welcome to the final What's New for 2017. It's the Q4 Release 2 scheduled for the 29th of November, subject to UAT. So let's dive in and have a look at what we've got in this final release of the year. Okay, so it's the Rubik release, and you see why that is in a second. The idea behind this release is we're personalizing or allowing you to personalize some aspects of the system. So if we look at a list of the features that we're adding here, just a fairly minor one in the admin console, the ability to unassign persons from jobs and roles if you've assigned them, or even if they've assigned themselves. Then the personalization aspects, allowing company logos to be uploaded and displayed in various aspects of the system, so that company branding can go across the planner, the survey console and the admin console up in the top left, and we'll have a look at that. And then finally, we've added some feedback. So when pages are loading, particularly in the planner, previously you would just see that the page loading spinner up in the header, and now we've just added a little bit more so you can see that processing taking place. Okay, without further ado, let's dive straight into the admin console. We'll have a look at the unassigned of jobs. So if I just drop in, and there we go, we can immediately see now that we've got some processing feedback. And if I go into the job role management, what we'll see here, where we have the ability to assign people to a current and future job. Previously, once they were assigned, you could only assign them to another job. Now you've got the option to unassign them from a job altogether. So it's just a little bit of feedback that we got and we've implemented fairly quickly. So if we have a look at, I'll go back to the home page and we'll have a look at what we've done with regard to the company branding. It's a tiered system that we've got. So within your workspace, when you create organizations or divisions, you've got the ability here to add specific logos, and it's just as simple as clicking on the add logo, going through a select file dialog, load up the logo into the system, and it will then automatically be displayed against that organization. We resize it, so it's 50 pixels in height. So that just needs to be taken into account, but it's a fairly simple upload. Whatever format you upload, we'll size it accordingly. Okay, if we then go into one of the actual workspaces, so if for an example, you require a workspace to have a different logo, if we go into the setup management tasks and into configure workspace, you'll see that we have in here, down here, under the sort of control aspects of the workspace, we've got the ability to add logo. So if there's a logo for the workspace, that's what will be displayed. If there isn't, it'll look and see if there's a logo for the organization, and eventually it'll actually look a logo for the provider organization that's managing that particular partition. You can probably see that in this particular instance, I've actually modified our logo up here, added the word sandpit, and I've got this set at the highest level so it appears everywhere within my partition. If we have a look at how that looks over in, say, the planner console, I'm just showing you where the positioning is. So up here in the top left is where you'll see your company logo if you add one. It's just a bit of a comfort factor for people that are in surveys or the planner to actually see their company logo up here. Just gives an extra level of credibility. So obviously use it as required. And finally, particularly in the planner, when we were loading up pages, sometimes people would think that it had frozen. So we've just added this Rubik's Cube spinner just to indicate that the page is actually loading so that people don't need to double click and such. Say just a little bit of feedback there in terms of the system actually doing some work. Okay, so that's it for this release. Not a huge amount of updates, but certainly the ability to personalize is quite a powerful feature. So with regard to this release, If there's any questions, just contact me at paul.collins@skillstx.com. Otherwise, have a wonderful festive period.